So we need to translate, I love going to the USA, especially when the weather is hot and sunny, which before you came in today, I pumped into Google Translate to show you what it said on Google Translate. So it said, me encanta ir a los IIUU, which is what? Ever seen that anywhere before?
Never.
No, but that's what Google Translate translates as being the USA. Actually, it stands for Estados Unidos, and the reason why there are two E's and two U's is to show that it's a plural word, Estados Unidos. So when we say USA, the Spanish say IIUU. That's how they abbreviate it, right? Especialmente cuando el clima es cálido y soleado. Right, now watch this. So this is the vocab page, or will be the vocab page when I've done this. The vocab page from Unit 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find something. Actually, this is 2. Let's just go to 1. I'm going to try and find the bit about weather, which I'm just going to go closer in on like this. Now, the first thing that we need to take note of, but kind of make a mental note of, is that the tense is not the tense I want it to be. Which tense do I want it to be when I say when the weather is hot and sunny? What tense is that? What tense is when the weather is hot and it's the present tense? Right, and this says it was cold, it was sunny, hizo sol, it was hot, hizo calor, and what was the other one I wanted? Hot and sunny, so I wanted those two. So hizo calor and hizo sol. Now the first thing that you ought to be thinking to yourself is when I'm looking at the Google Translate thing here, me encanta ir a los Estados Unidos, especialmente cuando el clima es cálido y soleado, is that it uses the verb es, which comes from which verb? Ser. Which verb does hizo come from? Almost. Right, let me take you back a few pages. You know you can access this book, don't you? Whereabouts can you access this book? Online, on Moodle. So if I just flick back a few pages to this bit here, it's not that one, it's this one. If I look here, it's got the little table where we can see the vocab. Hizo buen tiempo, hizo calor, hizo sol, hubo niebla, etc., etc. And we've got the two that we want, hizo calor and hizo sol. It's as simple as you need to change the tense from the from the preterite that it's in into the present tense. And if you look over here, it tells you it's the verb hacer that it comes from, so it tells you where it's getting it from. It tells you that it's the third person singular, hizo. And all I know that I need to do is, can you pass me that dictionary quickly, please? Thanks. I need to find the verb hacer, and the verb hacer, meaning to do or to make, not to be, so it's not is, it doesn't translate as that. Whereabouts is that? Whereabouts in the dictionary? In the middle of the dictionary. And is it a common verb or not very common verb? It's a very common verb. So if I look up the verb hacer in the centre of the dictionary here, which is verb number 7 in here, I'll see that the present tense, the third one down, remember when we were in the preterite tense, it was the third one down that they used. So in the present tense, it's still got to be the third one down. And I've got the word hace. So when I translate this, the first bit, you're almost right with. So me encanta ir a los Estados Unidos. First thing I need to do is make sure that I'm writing that. Is that here? Is that in this book here? United States? Probably, of course it is, because I only used it because I knew it was in the book. Right? So I knew that it was a resource that you could use. And if I glance down here, I will find Estados Unidos, USA. It doesn't matter in Spanish whether you say here, me encanta. A me encanta is followed by an infinitive. They do use the word yendo, which is the gerund, but we don't use it. You would say estoy yendo, I am going, but me encanta plus infinitive. We know this because we've seen it before. Me encanta ir, and in Spanish I can use a, and I don't need this word if I don't want to, but I will. And then we write down Estados Unidos. Oops. And what was the word for especially that we said? Especialmente, which actually in Google Translate it's got, so we're okay with that one. It's translated that correctly. So especialmente, when the weather, what was the word for when? Cuando, and here it's there again, cuando. How do you say when the weather is hot and sunny? How are we going to do this? So we don't need el clima. We don't use the word el clima. The word el clima is the word for the weather. It's the word that you'll find if you look it up. But if I look again in the Mira book, where I found it the first time, I'll notice that here it's got no reference. Can you see the word el clima anywhere in there? No. So we don't need it. We use the present tense, cuando it's hot and sunny, is hace sol y calor. So that is how I translate my sentence. Me encanta ir a Estados Unidos, especialmente cuando hace sol y calor. Not me encanta ir a los EEUU, which I know that if I was you and I saw that, I'd think, I don't know what that means, but I'm going to use it anyway because it must be right because it's in Google Translate. Especialmente cuando el clima es cálido y soleado is really especialmente cuando hace sol y calor. That's correct Spanish. That isn't correct Spanish. Something as simple as, I love going to the USA, especially when the weather is hot and sunny. So you remember that I said to you last week, and I'll pause this now, so that's done, so you can watch that